Okay, so have you ever been in a situation where you just, really needed to connect with someone or maybe gently guide a conversation?
Oh, absolutely. Like in a big meeting or a tricky negotiation.
Exactly. Or even just like chatting with someone new. We've all been there, haven't we? Wondering how to actually get through to people, how to be um, more effective.
It's a universal thing, wanting to be understood and maybe influence things positively, but without being, well, manipulative. That's the line, right?
Totally. And that's what we're getting into today. We're doing a deep dive into a real classic, Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Hmm.
Came out way back in 1936,
1936, yeah. And it's still everywhere.
right? So our mission here is to pull out the key ideas, the really important stuff from this, well, foundational guide. Give you a kind of shortcut to understanding these timeless principles for, better interactions, positive influence, building relationships that actually last.
And it's important to say up front, despite the title, this isn't really about tricking people or anything.
No, not at all.
It's more about deep human understanding. Empathy, really, seeing things from the other person's angle.
Spot on. So let's unpack it. Carnegie basically breaks it down into four main parts. Each gives pretty practical advice on human relations. Maybe as we go, you can think about a challenge you're facing, like getting your team behind a tough project or that difficult family chat you keep avoiding.
Yeah, see how these ideas might actually help in your situation. It's a logical setup, starting with mindset shifts and then building up to, like, persuasion and leadership skills.
Okay, part one, fundamental techniques in handling people. The first big idea feels almost unnatural sometimes. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain.
Right, because our first instinct, especially when we're frustrated, is often to point out what's wrong. But
Right?
Carnegie, he taps into basic psychology here, criticism. It just puts people on the defensive. Immediately, their walls go up.
Yeah, they shut down.
Exactly. So it's not about being nice for the sake of it. It's about being effective. Because the defensive person isn't listening. The goal is to understand why they did what they did, not just judge it.
That makes total sense. If you feel attacked, you just want to argue back, not listen.
Mm.
So the next principle flips that. Give honest and sincere appreciation.
Ah, yes. This is huge. Everyone craves appreciation. It's fundamental. Carnegie says, like, be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise, but it has to be genuine.
Genuine is the key word there.
Absolutely. Not flattery. People see through flattery.
Hmm.
Real appreciation acknowledges effort or achievement or even just good intent. It builds trust, goodwill. You're seeing the good and saying it out loud.
And the third one, and in this first part, arouse in the other person an eager want. This one really made me think. It's about shifting focus.
Mm-hmm.
Real influence isn't about pushing your agenda. It's about tapping into their wants, their needs, their motivations. Carnegie's famous line, right? The only way to influence people is to talk about what they want.
Exactly. It's understanding that people act out of self-interest, broadly speaking, not necessarily selfishly, but driven by their own needs. So if you can show how your idea helps them get what they want,
Then you're not selling, you're helping them solve their problem.
precisely, it changes the whole dynamic. Instead of me versus you, it's us working on this together. Think about that work project, frame it around how it benefits them or the team goals they care about.
These first three, they sound simple, but actually doing them consistently. Resisting criticism, remembering genuine praise, always thinking about their want. That takes practice. But wow, it could change your interactions.
For sure. So, okay, part one sets the foundation. Part two gets more into, like, proactive steps, 6 ways to make people like you. How do you become someone people actually enjoy being around?
First up, that's a big one, become genuinely interested in other people.
Genuinely interested.
Ask questions, show real curiosity. People generally love talking about themselves, right? Their interests, their experiences.
It's about turning the spotlight. When you're truly curious, you make the other person feel seen, feel important. That builds connection.
Then the simplest thing, smile. A real smile, though.
Seems almost trivial, doesn't it? But it's universal. Signals warmth, openness, can disarm tension instantly.
So true. And this next one, I know I struggle with this sometimes. Remember a person's name.
Oh yeah, crucial. Carnegie calls it the sweetest, most important sound. Using someone's name, it shows you're paying attention, you respect them as an individual.
It really does make a difference. Makes things feel personal.
Yeah.
How do you, remember names in a busy setting? Any tricks?
Well, repeating it soon after you hear it helps. Maybe connect it to someone else you know with that name or a feature. Sometimes, yeah, writing it down discreetly if you can. It takes effort, but pays off.
Definitely. Okay, next. Be a good listener. And this is more than just being quiet, right?
Way more. It's active listening, really tuning in, understanding, encouraging them to share more, not interrupting to jump in with your own story. How often do we just wait for our turn to talk?
Guilty as charged sometimes. And then talk in terms of the other person's interests.
Yeah, find out what they're passionate about. Sports, hobbies, work challenges, whatever. Engage them there. It shows you care about what they care about. Builds common ground fast.
It's like finding their frequency and tuning in. And the last one here, make the other person feel important sincerely.
Again, sincerity is key. It's about validating their worth, their ideas, their contributions, not empty praise, but genuine acknowledgement.
So these 6 ways, they're not just like polite manners. They're actual strategies for building real connection.
Exactly, real connection. Okay, so that leads us to part 3. How to win people to your way of thinking. This is where it gets really practical for influencing, persuading, negotiating.
Without being pushy, yeah. And the first rule here is a tough one. Avoid arguments.
Oof, yeah. Because even if you win the argument, Carnegie says you often lose the person's goodwill. And that's a bigger loss.
Right. An argument becomes about ego, not about finding the best solution.
Totally. It triggers that defensiveness again. So it's about discussion, collaboration, not a verbal fight.
Then show respect for others' opinions. Never say you're wrong.
Tact is everything. Telling someone they're flat out wrong is like a direct attack on their judgment.
So what do you say instead?
Maybe something like, "That's interesting, I see it a bit differently," or "Help me understand how you got there." Create space instead of conflict.
Okay, that makes sense. And what if you are wrong?
Then admit it quickly and emphatically. Carnegie stresses this. Owning your mistakes. It builds massive respect. Disarms the whole situation.
Shows humility. People trust that.
Yeah. And related to that, begin in a friendly way. Start warm. Sets a positive tone.
Right.
Also, try to get the other person saying yes, yes immediately.
Find common ground first.
Exactly. Start with things you both agree on, even small things. Builds momentum towards agreement. It's a subtle psychological nudge.
Okay, interesting. Then let the other person do a great deal of the talking.
People need to feel heard. If you just lecture, they tune out. Listen more than you talk.
And this one's clever. Let the other person feel the idea is theirs.
Yeah, this is powerful. It's not about stealing credit, but maybe guiding them so they connect the dots themselves, or incorporating their input so they feel ownership.
Because we all like our own ideas best.
Right, pretty much. It boosts their commitment massively. Then there's try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. Pure empathy.
Stepping into their shoes.
And be sympathetic with the other person's ideas and desires. Even if you disagree, show you understand their feelings or position.
Understanding isn't agreeing, but it builds bridges.
Right. Then, appeal to the nobler motives. Frame things around higher values, fairness, integrity, pride, and quality. People want to see themselves positively.
And dramatize your ideas.
Yeah.
Make them vivid. Use stories, analogies.
Yeah, facts tell, stories sell, right? We connect emotionally. Dry data doesn't stick the same way.
True. And the last one in this part, throw down a challenge.
A positive challenge, yeah. Taps into that desire to achieve, to prove ourselves, can be really motivating.
So this whole section is about influence through understanding, collaboration, not force. Really useful stuff.
Definitely. Which brings us to the last part, part 4. Be a leader, how to change people without giving offense or arousing resentment.
This feels crucial for anyone managing a team or mentoring or even parenting maybe.
Absolutely. Formal or informal leadership. It starts with begin with praise and honest appreciation before you offer critique.
Sandwich method, kind of,
Right.
but got to be genuine praise.
Exactly. Sets a positive stage, makes feedback easier to hear, then call attention to people's mistakes indirectly.
Softer approach. Maybe suggestions, not blunt accusations.
Right. Or asking questions that lead them to see the issue themselves. And crucially, talk about your own mistakes before criticizing others.
Vulnerability makes you seem human, approachable, not
Right.
like you're judging from on high.
Precisely. Builds psychological safety. Then, ask questions instead of giving direct orders.
Empowers people, right? Encourages them to think, take ownership.
Yes, and always, always let the other person save face. Never humiliate someone, especially publicly. Protect their dignity even when correcting a mistake.
So important for morale. And praise every improvement.
Even small steps. Recognize progress, keeps motivation up.
And I love this one. Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to.
Yeah, like, I know you're really detail-oriented, so I'm sure you'll catch this next time. It sets a positive expectation they'll often strive to meet.
Kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy in a good way. Then use encouragement. Make the problem seem fixable, not overwhelming. Instill hope.
Definitely. And finally, make the other person happy about doing the thing you suggest.
How do you do that?
Frame it around their benefits, their motivations. Connect the task to something they value.
Wow. Okay, so that's a lot of ground covered. These are really powerful leadership tools.
Incredibly powerful for building strong teams and positive relationships.
So let's try to boil this down. What are the absolute key takeaways for you, the listener, from this deep dive into Carnegie? First, maybe, people are driven more by emotion than logic.
That's fundamental, yeah. We feel first, then rationalize. So approach people with empathy, understand their feelings, their ego.
Second, genuine appreciation works. Flattery backfires. Sincerity is everything.
Absolutely. People have a good detector for insincerity. It destroys trust.
Third, listening. It's often more powerful than talking. Make people feel truly heard.
It's a superpower, honestly. Builds rapport, gives you information, validates the other person. Underrated skill.
And lastly, maybe that real influence comes from connection, not control. Respect trumps dominance.
Spot on. Build the relationship first. Influence becomes a natural result of that trust and respect. These are the big ideas to carry with you.
So who is this all for? I mean, it feels like almost everyone could benefit, right?
Pretty much. Leaders, managers, salespeople, teachers, parents, students, anyone who interacts with other humans.
Huh, yeah, so everyone. From the boardroom to the family dinner table.
It's timeless because human nature doesn't change that much.
Yeah, how to win friends and influence people, it really holds up. It's not about manipulating people. It's about understanding them and connecting sincerely.
Which leaves us with maybe a final thought. Think about this. These ideas are nearly a century old, written long before the internet, before social media, all of it. Yet they still resonate so strongly across cultures, across technologies. What does that tell you about the core of human psychology? And maybe, just maybe, about the enduring importance of real, genuine connection, especially now in our super digital, sometimes pretty disconnected world?